The chairman of the Bank Board Bureau, Vinod, called for transparency in decision-making processes at banks. So speaking at an ASSOCHAM event in Delhi, Vinod backed the demonetization drive and also advocated for supporting any measure aimed at cleaning up the economy. He also alluded to reports that nearly 95% of the demonetized currency could have already come back into the system. Listen to what he had to say.
If it was exchanging currency, there is no proof of it, and I can't give you proof. But media has been reporting of all kind of unsavory practices where people did manage to exchange currency. Must have, if 96 or 95% of the 500 and 1,000 denomination notes have come back into the banking system, must have been exchanged. But the question that I ask of you is, why do we do that as a people? Once the law is laid down, I think the debate within us and outside us must. And that's where we need to contribute to good governance. Government or a corporate will not always take those decisions that we want them to take.
And CNBC has been tracking the deposit data right from the beginning of the demonetization drive. In fact, take a look at our exclusive news breaks on how the deposits surged in the last 30 to 35 days.
11 lakh crores has already come back into the banking system. We understand this from sources.
Currently, it is the situation of excess liquidity and the Reserve Bank is managing it. So whether it is high or low, I would not like to fix any benchmark.
What I'm hearing from my sources is that already 13 lakh crore of money has come back to the banking system.
Old notes of 500 and 1,000 rupees which have been returned back to the Reserve Bank and the currency chest, that amounted to 12.44 lakh crores as of 10th December 2016.
Well, what we do understand from our well-placed sources is the fact that close to 14 lakh crores has already come back into the system. Where we understand very close to 15 lakh crores is already back in the banking system, and this is provisional data as of 31st December. 31st December is now way past. We're getting to hear now that 15 lakh crores almost has come back into the system.
I don't know the number, but when you know it, please tell me.
And after CNBC TV18 broke the story of banks having got nearly 15 lakh crores back as deposits, the RBI today reacted by saying that it had put out the initial figures from data it got from currency chest, but now it wants to announce the final tally only after checking the physical cash that was tendered in. In fact, Latha is here to explain what's going on. Latha, is this a case of lack of transparency, you reckon, or is it just too much to tabulate, too little time, very high expectations? What's going on?
Well, it may be a bit of everything that you say. First, it's a long time. It's almost a week. The deadline expired last Friday. So I think 1 week is a fairly long time to do this kind of reconciling. And it is not as if all the notes came on 30th December. In fact, all banks admitted that in the last few weeks, the deposits had almost dwindled to a trickle. So the bulk, as Sapna and Timsi were reporting, had 14 lakh crore had come way back in December 14th. That is 21 days or maybe 25 days from now. It's difficult to believe that the Reserve Bank did not have the time to reconcile if it was needed at all. And why do you need reconciliation? Until now, every time money went from one bank to another or from the bank to the Reserve Bank, it got registered in the currency chest. The software is called icons and it registers immediately. Yes, this time, transactions of over 5 years were packed into 5 weeks. And therefore, the physical notes perhaps had to be checked. But the checking should have been done all through from November 9th onwards, when the old cash was coming in. It's first of all a failure of systems to say that what got registered in the chest was not accurate, that actually the physical number was something different. But even if that were the case, it's by now, the notes have been coming from November 9th. It is 60 days, and that should be sufficient time to have parallelly started the checking as well. Perhaps there were some in far-flung branches, chances of very high quality counterfeit notes, and maybe the Reserve Bank wants to weed that out. That is one charitable explanation you can give. Another less charitable explanation is that nobody wants to reveal the number because it is too large and too much of an admission of failure. That thought definitely comes to all of us who have been watching the system. But either it is a charge of incompetence or less than perfect competence, or it is a charge of lack of transparency. It's not sitting very well.
Right, Latha, absolutely. That reasoning is hard to argue with, and hopefully it is the less charitable version that might not, although it's the more ominous one, hopefully we'll get the figure soon and that won't come to pass, that there is actually a lack of transparency at the RBI. We hope that doesn't, at least doesn't seem that way.